Welcome to Heal Within. Here with me, Dr. Evette Rose, trauma therapist and also creator of Metaphysical Anatomy Technique. And this podcast is your safe place to explore emotional healing, nervous system repair, and also deep inner transformation. And if you are ready to go deeper and you would like to be supported on your journey, you can always book a one-on-one session with me or with any of my certified meta-psychology coaching practitioners. You can join us also for our upcoming live healing events, workshops, or retreats at metaphysicalanatomy.com. Now, let's begin our journey back to wholeness, one breath and one breakthrough at a time. And I wholeheartedly welcome you to today's episode, where we're going to dive into healing and what people don't tell. You see, healing is not just about fixing symptoms. This at least was my belief when I first started my healing journey. I don't know if you can relate. Do you know when you started and it was new and we were, exploring, what is out there? What do you resonate with? And then we start experimenting. And I definitely experimented with a lot of techniques, a lot of processes where I was touching on the expressions, the symptoms of my trauma, rather than actually the root cause of it. At the time, little did I know that I was actually doing that. And there's such a deep process with unlearning and rewiring to really truly start to reclaim your whole sense of self. And I want to touch a little bit on some myths and some truths. And we're going to have a nice conversation here. And I would love for you to, join in on the comment section later if you wish to connect. And also let me know what your experiences were as well as in your perspectives. So to start with, a myth is a lot of people say that healing means constant progress. You see, the truth of it actually is that healing actually looks a little bit like a spiral, right? And it can sometimes be up, it can be down, it can be revisiting old wounds on a deeper level. Of course, you would say, but that's progress. Well, let me tell you, when you have a retrigger, it doesn't feel like progress at the time. So it's important that expectations are properly introduced and understood. So for me, I wish someone told me at the time that you will make progress, but there's going to be plateau phases where you feel like you're back at square one, right? So sometimes the challenge is that progress, and I'm going to share my own personal experience here because it might be different for you, but the challenge is when you make progress and you heal, and now you backtrack a little bit, there's a deeper layer that you were not aware of, and now it's coming up, and it's really putting you back. It's really upsetting. It's very distressing, and sometimes this new layer can be so stressful for someone that they almost can't get out of it by themselves, and so this can create a new set of distressing symptoms. And sometimes when we are in that state where we feel like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to get out of this, we reach out for these instant gratifications and we throw everything on the wall and we see what sticks approach, right? I'm sure you can relate because I have absolutely done that myself as well. And we do that because we need that relief. We need that break from that constant pressure, from that constant strain, and sometimes the disappointment of feeling, wow, I just invested so much money in getting better. I was just about to, take off and, things were going really well. And then I have a setback. So that's for me something I really, truly wish that I knew in the beginning, because it's quite confusing when people say you will make progress. I get that. But, and here's the but, that progress might apply to some people. But I have seen where people would come up with a second layer that would be so strong that it actually sets them back. And even though we're climbing and we climb, for some people, the ramifications of that, if they can't get the right tools or resources or support, or, for themselves to move out of that progress can actually be a re-traumatizing situation as well. So just keep that one in mind, because I really wish that, I wish I knew that when I started. Because the challenge is, when we create changes, it's not just about, wow, I healed that, so kaboom, that's it. The brain rewires through repetition. And so that now means that, these old patterns can sometimes surface, and they need to be rewired. And if we give up too fast because it starts to feel really uncomfortable, we cannot fully integrate that progress, right? That change, so that it can stick. So another myth that we have is that, and I hear people say this a lot, healing is all in your mind. Just think positive. Yeah, I don't know. If that was true, this whole world would be healed like that, instantly, right? And I'm sure you can agree to that. Healing, from my perspective, is embodied. Your nervous system decides whether you feel safe enough to relax and therefore then accept the healing that you're trying to create in your life. And the polyvagal theory talks about this. That safe state, that ventral vagal, right? That equals connection, growth. And now what happens is, when we stuck in these survival states, right? That fight, flight, that freeze, fawn, this is what's blocking healing. The body can't heal when it's stuck in a state of distress and fight and flight instinctive responses. Now, another myth, let me think. Okay, let's start with this one. Another myth is, if you were more self-aware, you wouldn't get triggered. I haven't found that to be true for me personally, because many triggers, and here's why, many triggers are subconscious. They are hidden by the brain to actually protect you. And the reason why we don't always see them, and hence why they can be so unexpected and so instant, trauma is stored in implicit memory. It's not always accessible consciously. So now what happens? The body's going to speak to you through pain, through tension, through reactions, before the mind can catch up. And we know that the world, cultural conditioning, it teaches us to suppress our emotions. It doesn't teach us how to deal with trauma. Instead, it teaches us how to fight, how to be successful, how to be competitive. So an example of this could be, say, shoulder pain. It could be psychosomatically that you're carrying the weight of responsibility. And this can sometimes only become to your awareness, right? Until it becomes a chronic pain, or frozen shoulder, or inflammation, or the list can go on. That's another example. And let's see, goodness, there's quite a few myths. Let's see what's the next one. So there's another one that says you have to heal yourself alone before you can love or connect. You see, from my perspective at least, we heal in safe connection with others. Co-regulation is great. However, it's important for us to also find our own independence in being able to regulate ourselves by ourselves. Co-regulation is an added added process that we can add to that, which is, it's a biological necessity. It's a need. It's important for us to be surrounded by people and to have, that connection in our environment. Because neuroscience shows us that the nervous system, is wired for co-regulation. Safe eye contact, safe voices, safe connection, like, safe hugs, and so forth. Another myth that I want to share here with you is, there's a myth where they say that healing means getting rid of pain or negative emotions. Now, I see it as healing means learning to listen, to integrate, and to respond differently. You see, emotional pain is communication. It's not a flaw. It's not something that you're doing wrong. No one is above pain. We all experience that. And when we look at that from my perspective, from my metaphysical lens, every symptom, it carries a message. And when it's heard, the body no longer needs to shout out. So when we look at a gentle summary of what we have touched on today, is that healing is not linear. The nervous system also decides safety. So we have to teach it what safety feels like. If it was wired incorrectly based on traumatic circumstances, because for the nervous system then to understand what is safe and what is not safe, it's a blurred line. And a big truth for me personally speaking is that triggers hide until we are ready. Triggers hide until we are ready. And healing happens in connection. It supports regulation. It's not the ultimate source of regulation, because what if the people in your environment's not healthy? What are you regulating with, right? So, and another point is, pain is a messenger. It's not the enemy. You're not going backwards. So a very powerful key takeaway here is to really truly understand, and something that took me such a long time to really grasp, is that you are not broken. You are healing even when it feels messy. And the truth is, healing is about coming home to yourself, not about who or what you should be for someone else, or for the sake of someone else to love you more or like you more, or whatever the reason is. That motivation should be for you. Wonderful. And so now, as with most of my podcasts, I would love to talk you through a healing meditation. And so when you are ready, let's start by taking a nice deep breath. And as we're starting to bring our full focus and awareness back to our breath, back into the body. The intention for today's podcast is, and especially for this meditation actually, is to witness any feelings of distress with self-compassion. To reignite self-compassion, especially during these moments when your healing journey doesn't go according to plan. Sometimes you feel you're that rubber band, you make progress and then you snap back, or at least you feel that you do. And those moments and times where maybe you feel unsafe to feel safe. Let's tap on some of these moments. And I invite you now to find yourself standing in an open space. And this can be in a space where you feel safe. where you feel peaceful. A place that brings ease to your nervous system. And I invite you now to find yourself as you are in that space, standing under a healing waterfall. And notice as you do, feeling that warm, healing water flowing from your head down your body, out your feet, allowing that healing waterfall to very gently release maybe tension that you had from today. Maybe you woke up maybe a little bit unsettled. Maybe something happened during the day that was upsetting for you, and maybe there's a part of you that's still carrying that. Allowing this healing waterfall to release that now. And now, I invite you, as you're finding yourself in that safe, open space, notice now, perhaps that sensation or that feeling, emotion that could perhaps cause you to feel uncomfortable right now. It can even be like a lingering feeling. Maybe there was a trigger today. And as you are becoming aware of that, I invite you to notice, as you're bringing your focus to it, where in your body do you feel that stress? Maybe there's tension when you think of the emotional stress and you're somewhere specifically located in your body. Maybe you feel pain flaring up in a certain part of your body. Maybe you just feel your awareness is just spontaneously drawn to a certain part of your body. And as you feel that now, I invite you to shift your full focus and awareness to that part in your body. And if it's your whole body, then your awareness is just wrapped around your whole body. Then I invite you now, as you notice this, what about this emotion this feeling is causing you to feel this discomfort and this distress. What feels the most intense or strongest about it? Notice also what story may you have told yourself about this. What story may you have told yourself about this? And now, I invite you to have awareness of the emotion or the sensation, the story that you may have told yourself about it. And in that moment, as you are aware of the judgment that you have around this challenge, I invite you now to hear, feel, see, or sense a beautiful, soft, healing waterfall flowing over that part of you that's carrying the weight of this judgment. A beautiful, self-compassionate, healing waterfall is now flowing over you. Feeling that healing waterfall, just bringing so much love, so much understanding, and so much unconditional compassion. Notice and feel how that self-compassion is just opening up this space within your heart for you, towards yourself. Towards your emotions. And towards your story as well. And notice the more these emotions and this story is just bathed and held in this beautiful light of compassion, the more and more it starts to lose its power. The more and more it starts to lose its impact on you. Finding yourself taking a nice deep breath. Very good. And while you're standing under that healing waterfall, let's also affirm several healing affirmations. Healing does not have to be linear to be real. Every step forward or back is part of my growth, and I embrace it with ease and with grace. My body knows how to return to safety and balance. I honor and listen to the messages that pain carries in my body. I'm patient and gentle with my healing process. I release the belief and the program that I must heal perfectly. Each breath helps me to rewire for calm and peace. I welcome the layers of my healing with compassion. I do not walk my healing path alone, because connection is also healing medicine. I trust the timing of my healing journey. And I invite you now to bring your full focus and awareness back to your breath. Notice your breathing. Feeling the surface beneath your body. Bringing your full focus and awareness to the bottom of your feet. Grounding you back into the here and now. Well done. Giving yourself a nice big stretch. Allowing yourself to really gently integrate that throughout the day and night. And knowing that you are exactly where you need to be in your life. And also remember, you're not alone. Remember that you're healing one step at a time and one breath at a time. And the affirmation for today is every day I heal. And remember, if this episode touched you, then please share it with someone who's also maybe now on the healing journey as well. And as always, breathe deep, listen within, and stay gently curious. I love you, and until next time, be the light that you are. Bye for now.